I believe that it's the civic duty of everyone in the UK to ensure that the police are held to the same standard of lawfulness they expect from us. If you catch the police doing something that they shouldn't, which, let's be honest, is a lot more likely than catching them doing something they should, it's your duty to record it and, wherever you have the balls, question them on it. Civil disobedience is a one-man army when it comes to holding the police to account on the street. But before I play one of his latest examples, I just want to add this. Police officers do not have a general exemption from road traffic laws. What exemptions they do enjoy are set out in statute, such as exemptions from wearing seatbelts and keeping the engine running when the vehicle is stationary. They can also enjoy exemption from speed limits, keep left-right signs, and complying with traffic signals, but only if it's absolutely necessary for a policing purpose. Of course, the police believe anything they do can be palmed off as a policing purpose, but it must be determined by facts and not opinions. Not that the police seem able to discern between the two. Take this example, where a member of the public captured a police vehicle parked in a disabled bay while PC Tubby McFuck went into KFC for a bucket of breadcrumb-coated excrement. When they were contacted by the media, the police said, "There is no evidence to say that the officer was parking there to order food." Except, of course, for the photo of them parked there and ordering food. Care and attention to parking restrictions should be observed and complied with, says the College of Policing. Police officers must follow force policy and obey road traffic laws at all times, except in justifiable circumstances. What is justifiable? Well, how about obstructing traffic on a major road while the driver takes a personal call because he couldn't be bothered to pull up a few more yards and park safely?
Phone. Yeah, happy to. Happy to.
What's the issue? What's the issue?
You're parked on a cycle lane half in the dual carriageway with the driver sat there on a mobile phone.
Yeah,
and you're supposed to be traffic officers.
He's taking a work call. We're
No
not
matter what he's
traffic officers.
taking.
We're not traffic officers at all. He's not driving. He's not operating.
You're sat here in a vehicle with the keys in ignition on a dual carriageway.
He's not driving.
You know as well as I do that that's against the law.
Well, I know as well as you do that that is not an offence.
Is it not?
The offence is driving whilst operating a handheld electronic device. Is he
So
driving?
if you're sat still on the road, and the fact he's got no seatbelt on, but if you're sat still on a...
Because I want to get out and have a word with you.
He's got no seatbelt on either.
Eh? I don't need one on because I'm executing my duty.
Have you pulled anybody over here?
Eh?
Have you pulled anybody over here?
No, but you don't know what that call's about and what we're doing because we're not traffic officers, we're firearms officers.
But it's not relevant, is it?
Yes, it is.
There's a petrol station forecourt there. You're still sat on a carriageway.
With a long line of traffic.
You're sat.
We'll drive off then. If we're sat on the motorway.
You're sat on a live carriageway.
Come down the road, I'll pull off on the road and we'll have a chat.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, sure. Sorry about the non-landscape view on this one, but this is just how we have to hold the phone today because it's easier. Go for it.
No, it's Richards. We're just to let you know, you're recording us.
Absolutely.
We're recording you.
No, of course I understand.
Because what's your concerns then?
You're sat in a live carriageway, obstructing traffic dangerously, and you're sat there on a mobile phone.
Right.
When you're literally hundreds of yards away from where you could have pulled over safely. You've got no blue flashing lights on to indicate that you're here for any other reason than you just fancy being on the phone. So it clearly wasn't an emergency phone call.
The nature of the phone call is politely none of your business.
Correct.
It's a personal
Correct.
phone call.
However,
Listen.
vice versa, if I'd have been sat there on my phone, blocking that live carriageway, the first thing you would have said to me is, what's the nature of the phone call, sir? Because unless it's an emergency, i.e. you're dying, you should not be on the phone.
I'm not driving.
You was in control of a vehicle. If you'd have been sat there and you'd have been over the legal limit drink, are you telling me then that you wouldn't be breaking the law either? The offence is being in control of a motor vehicle whilst using a mobile phone. He was in control of a motor vehicle on a live lane.
I've pulled over with the indicators on. You want me to look it up for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There is.
I can promise you, as many badges and bits and pieces as you've got attached to you, I'm as proficient as you are when it comes to the law.
Right. when it comes to the live lane of the cycle pathway, I'm a keen cyclist. So I know I'm not going to piss people off by cycling down there. I know that what was going to come up behind me is going to be a cyclist. I've stopped the car in a safe place. It's not a dual carriageway. It's a wide single carriageway,
which he was obstructing because cars were having to cross the central line.
There was no traffic going.
It's on film.
That's fine.
There can't be an argument. You're not arguing with me. You're arguing with fact. I filmed you. I passed you coming down.
Yeah.
I walked back up.
Yes.
Filmed you from here, all the way up.
Yeah.
Watched the traffic crossing the central line to overtake you safely.
Right.
So therefore, you was obstructing a live carriageway.
So you're telling me I should have driven another
20? You should drive another 20 feet, and you could have parked in the space.
On board, and that's fine. So what else do you do? What other concerns do you have?
Well, that's it. It's just the fact that it's not one rule for you and one rule for everyone else.
Well, I'm not saying I've stopped in a safe place.
But that's is it?
I perceive to be stopped. I've pulled over. The indicator's going. You've come past, and you're stood in the middle of the carriageway.
So you can't have been that concerned.
Yeah, but I'm a pedestrian.
Okay.
I'm a pedestrian.
So you shouldn't be in the carriageway.
Well, but that's me at risk, isn't it? You're putting other road users at risk,
So what I'm
and
saying
you're a
is
police
you can't be
officer.
in that dangerous
Should you?
situation.
Are you?
took it upon
Yeah.
yourself to step out into the live carriageway
Are
to come
you?
round us,
Are you not expected?
film us?
Yeah. Yeah,
you
because
were
I
that-
wanted
you were
to
that
make sure.
concerned.
I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that I
Instead
got him
of
on
coming to
film.
the safe side, and you could have.
Yeah,
filmed
but
it.
he could have put the phone down then, or denied that it was a phone.
And what,
Why am I going to deny it's a
why would
phone?
you
I'm on the
Why would you
phone.
want to film it? What are you going to do with that? That you're worried about losing that evidence?
And why am I
Because
denying
it
that
is
I'm on the
evidence,
phone?
isn't it? The same as
Evidence
you,
of
same
what?
as you would have the
Evidence
evidence.
of what?
Evidence that you've now broken the law.
We haven't broken.
And
the
then
law.
you're not
As
trying
we
to
just
justify
discussed,
it.
I've
The
pulled
offence
over.
is driving a motor vehicle. Whilst
Okay, so
operating.
what you're saying then?
So the legal definition of driving is that the driver and the motor vehicle.
People are gonna love this.
There has to be some kind of propulsion.
Yeah.
As in, we're not moving forward.
Right.
The handbrake is on. We're not moving. So
Okay.
we are not driving.
So under your
The engine is
definition,
on. No, this is the legal definition.
so no,
This is the legal
okay.
definition.
So under your definition,
No, not my definition.
the legal definition that
Yeah.
you're subscribed to here,
Yeah.
basically says then that I could pull up to those red traffic lights,
No.
Yeah.
put my handbrake on, and
Yeah.
be on the mobile phone. Because it's exactly the same scenarios that you've just
I've
suggested
pulled
you
over
were
the side
in,
of the road. I've
because you
stopped
was in a live lane
Yeah.
with a vehicle running, he was in control of the vehicle,
Yeah.
and you were stopped with the handbrake on, and you say that then means that you're not breaking any laws.
Yeah.
So I can sit there now, like that car is now,
Yeah.
and I can sit there on my mobile phone next to you in the lane next to me, blah blah blah, and you wouldn't have
You are
anything
not
to say.
driving.
Do you realise how much shit you've just caused yourself with that?
No, none whatsoever. Because you're not driving a motor vehicle.
Jesus.
You just sat at the lights.
Listen, I promise you
The problem
faithfully.
comes, we would give you words of advice about that. We'd roll down the window and say, are you going to finish the call by the time you've gone?
Yeah, of course they would. Because we all know how willing the police are to look the other way when it comes to petty infractions of the law. Not only is this a typical example of a police officer ad-libbing, it's a perfect reason why you should never listen to the police's interpretation of the law, because it's nearly always defective. A vehicle does not need to be in propulsion to constitute driving. If his definition was correct, then sitting at traffic lights talking into a mobile phone would be legal. I cover this subject in depth in 5 traffic laws you don't know you're breaking, which I've linked to at the end of this video. Also, notice here he gets out his mobile device, so he can look up the law for himself. That's because police officers have direct access to the PNLD, which is a police legal database written for the average reading age of 11-year-olds, so the police can understand it. Clearly what they need is a pop-up edition, because even when reading it at its simplest, he still gets it wrong.
Because
Wow.
if people take very short phone calls like that while they're at the traffic lights, chances are, as soon as those traffic lights move, you're accelerating, your vehicle is moving away, and you are still operating a handheld electronic device whilst you're moving.
But if you're not
The difference
moving,
is we've pulled over and we've taken that call. So we are
that's fine.
not driving.
If you was parked in a place that could be considered not obstructing a live carriageway, what you've done there is in definition, your own definition. No, let them come in, let them have a go. In definition,
They
in the
don't
laws,
need to have a go.
in the law's
Nobody wants to have a
definition,
go at anybody.
in the law's
And remember that
definition,
you initiated this encounter.
absolutely.
Right?
But in the law's definition, you park there, meaning other people have to go round you, means you are causing a dangerous obstruction, which could also be considered,
be dangerous.
which
There's no double yellow line.
which could also be considered dangerous driving, because you're actually making other vehicles slow
You're
down
missing
to go
the point
round you.
again because we're not driving.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Dangerous
You're still in
driving-
control of a motor vehicle.
Dangerous driving involves driving. The clue is in the title. We were not driving.
How would you like to progress this conversation? Because you're definitely
No, I don't need to. I don't need to progress
so,
it.
So we can go on our way. 'Cause
Absolutely.
We're not going to get a...
No, absolutely.
We're trying to educate you. We're trying to say...
Just
that-
words of advice, officer.
Yeah, exactly, and I'll take those words of advice on, that I should have come down and pulled in here. I'll take that on board. But what I am saying is, I did not put anybody in undue danger. Part where I was, the only put themselves in danger was you stood in the middle of the carriageway filming me. So on that note, we'll go on our merry way. Have a good day.
What? Sorry, just briefly then. What were your badge numbers?
Camera, sir.
I haven't. You haven't got pipettes on.
Yes, you have.
You haven't got any pipettes. Are you refusing a member of the public, officer? Are you refusing to identify yourself, officer, to a member of the public? Because I think you'll find that's an offence as well. Would you like to try me on this?
How is it a criminal offence?
It's not a criminal offence, but you know as well as I do. Under your oath, you must identify yourself to a member of the public.
I told you that on that video that you're recording and have been recording, my shoulder number is right in the middle of my vest.
Well, you didn't know. You said it was on camera. You didn't say that. I asked you for it.
It's on your video. I've told you. You wanted my seat. It's on your video.
So, once again, for those who bemoan the lack of police resources, just remember the police can always find time in their busy schedules to argue with a member of the public, because being right and exerting their authority is a far greater motivation to them than doing some actual work. Besides which, this whole interaction could have been avoided entirely with an obvious solution. Why couldn't he continue driving while he took the call, like they're doing in this last shot? But maybe that solution is way too obvious. Expecting a cop to do the bleeding obvious is a bit like expecting a dog to angle a stick before passing through an open doorway.